Okay, welcome again. So yeah, welcome to the November Sisterhood Circle. Everyone who is here live, we have people from, of course, Finland, but also Ecuador. So it's very exciting. I was just saying that the theme of this month's Sisterhood Circle is around harvesting because naturally in the cyclical like phase of nature, of agriculture, of how um, our ecosystems thrive, this is naturally the time where we're looking back at all that has bloomed, but also getting ready for more rest, which is the winter. So I thought we will jump into this theme for today's session, and hopefully it will give you some food for thought that you can take into, the rest of November. At least in Ecuador, it seems like it's nice and sunny, but in Finland, it's also getting really dark and gray, and it is a perfect time to, light some candles and do some journaling and think about how the year has been so far. What is the last bit you want to achieve before the year ends, as per, the calendar the world follows? But also, what do you want to invite later, and how do you want to celebrate and rest in this period to come? Um, but before I start, I do this every Sisterhood Circle because so far it has been free every time we have new people joining or watching the recording. So, just a little introduction about me. I am from India, I'm Pukhraj. I started Regenerative Women, is what we're calling it now. But this Substack, this community, I want to say around this time last year when I closed my company and I felt the need to start writing and journaling and sharing. I'm a very open person. I like to process a lot of things by putting it out there and speaking it out there, writing it. So I started it more as a personal blog. Um, but I am from India. I've been living in Finland for the last 10 years. I just had a baby this year who will turn 5 months day after tomorrow. So I'm in my newly, still new, I guess it will be new for a while, mommy era. And I'm very deeply passionate about leadership, legacy, and community. I feel like um, especially when it comes to women, I think we create beautiful ripple effects of change when we are in community, when we're thinking about our own leadership, when we believe and trust our own leadership, and also when we think about what we want to leave behind for our children, for our, for future generations. And I feel like women just embody leadership in a different way when they start thinking about impact for the larger community, which comes very naturally to women anyway. And in my work, I try to help visionary women rise into what I call the regenerative leadership. I have written a little bit about it on my Substack, so you can maybe find what regenerative leadership is. But it is essentially the kind of leadership the world right now needs, which is embodying the wisdom of nature, embodying the wisdom of community service and collective action, and creating a future for our kids where they're not living in the most polluted, corrupted world that we feel like we are going in that direction. And for me, I coach women to figure out systems and processes that support that kind of leadership so they can lead movements and not managing their to-do list, which we often find ourselves in. And this journey started because from the beginning, I wanted to be of service to the communities that I was part of. I started my career as a teacher and a teacher trainer in under-resourced communities in India. So I taught fourth and fifth grade in the slums of Mumbai, which are considered the biggest slums in all of Asia. So extremely talented kids who were just born in harder circumstances. I did that for 5 years, and that's what brought me to Finland. I came here to do my master's in educational leadership because I truly believe, even today, believe that education is a superpower. It changes people's life trajectories. Um, But love is what has kept me here. So the center picture is me and my husband from our wedding. How many years ago now? Anyway, a few years ago. Um, and yeah, but since 2010, I've been working in the social impact sector from education to then starting a slow fashion brand in 2020, which worked at the intersection of sustainability, rights, and craft preservation in India. Um, and because of this like deep mission that drove me every single day, I on paper succeeded in many different ways. I spoke on stages, I was able to grow a community, I was interviewed for magazines, I won like different like fellowship that was available. I got selected in ambassadors program in an organization called Vital Voices, which is really was very exciting for me. That's based out of US. A lot of good things were coming to my way because I was leading from a place of purpose and service. Um, that also led me to create beautiful collaborations, impactful collaborations with women's organization across India. I worked with over 10 to 12 different communities over the 4 years, and that led to livelihood creation for nearly 500 women across India. But at the same time, while I was hustling for my mission, for my purpose, I also got burnt out. This was the time I started my company in 2020, also around the same time when I started to try to conceive and create my own little family. But the stress and anxiety of doing everything alone, really believing in the work that I wanted to do, which led me to, hustle, because I think Diana said it, but that's what I heard. That's what's required to succeed. So I was really like pushing my to my extreme. And in 2024, like actually already in 2023, I started getting physical manifestations. Of course, I experienced three miscarriages back to back every year from 2022 to 2023. In 2023, my skin started erupting. I got acne. I never had acne even as a teenager, but I got acne, which again was my body telling me, hey, Pukhraj, you're doing something that's not aligned and you need to slow down. And then I started to get hives, which are basically your skin starts to swell up. They're like little bumps that start to come. And the first time I saw it, I thought it was a mosquito bite. It was on my thigh. And it just kept, every time I got it, it became bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is a picture from 2024, I want to say spring, when basically my whole like face swole up and my whole body swole up, and I ended up in the ER. Of course, everyone thought that I was gonna die because they thought I was having an allergic reaction to some food I ate. But deep inside, I knew that I was just stressed. I was tired. I was over delivering, and something had to change. Something had to stop. Um, and so my journey kind of began in trying to really talk to myself and spend time with myself, take a break, breathe, sleep, eat healthy food. Like, really, I let go of this pressure to perform and to be the one who saves the world, and really come from a place of I am enough in my capacity. This is what I can offer. This is my skill set. Um, this is how I will serve the community, but this is also how I would serve myself. So I write here the path forward begins by returning home to yourself, because I truly believe that whatever we are doing, you could be in the social impact sector or like in a corporate sector, it doesn't matter. You always know what's aligned for you and how you want to move forward and the kind of life you want to build. What happens is we're not listening to it. That's what most of the time we forget to listen. Um, and so I spent that journey of listening over the last 9 months, And the blog that now is called Regenerative Women was called Her Way Home. But the vision has expanded because, again, I love to be in community with other women. It could be one or 20, it doesn't matter. Like, I enjoy being in conversations of growth, of, purpose, of wholeness, and supporting one another. So now the group is, or the Substack is called Regenerative Women. It's a movement and community which is reimagining how we lead. And the idea is to lead from a place of more wholeness, from wisdom and purpose. Of course, because I am right now and have been the main writer in the community, the way I have been doing this is through guided journaling, ancestral Indian practices, because I'm from India and also certified as a yoga teacher and a sound healer. I try to bring that and want to bring more of that into our healing work, and of course, other embodied leadership practices. But the goal is that this sisterhood becomes a place where reflection meets regeneration, where you feel that you are supported and you can keep growing as a person so that you can share your gifts with the world in a more meaningful and grounded way. So that's a little bit just about me. In today's session, which is called the Sisterhood Circle, normally we meet every month to come together to journal. I thought this time we will also include a little bit of sharing. So, I mean, it's a small group, but it will, I hopefully make the um, conversations more, interesting. Um, but we'll first spend maybe 20, 30 minutes journaling about just how the year has been for us. And then we will go into self-regulating our nervous system because, yes, Christmas is coming and, the energy of end of year is going to be really like sparkly. But often also this is the time when women start to feel like they haven't achieved enough and time has run out and yet another year has gone by and they haven't met their goals. So we would potentially like share a few um, self-regulatory practices. If you don't have any, don't stress. But if you have, it would be nice to kind of open up the community so people can share. And I really like this little quote here, which is again a reminder that we are cyclical. Um, we're bodies that move in rhythm, in tides, in spirals that mirror the turning of the moon and the shifting of the seasons. So we're in this perfect shifting of the seasons, but also tomorrow is full moon. So we're also in this energy where maybe some messages want to come to you. So hopefully the journaling um, would support that. But before I go on and share the questions and play some music and we can get into journaling, any questions, any thoughts that you would want to share? Maybe now is a good time. No. All right. Okay. So we jump in. All right. So the way I wanted to start is maybe a little bit of grounding. This was my way of also um, sharing a self-regulation practice, which comes from the yogic philosophy, the Vedic philosophy, whatever you want to call it. It's a pranayam technique called Anulom Vilom. You might have already done it in your yoga classes. It's very, very popular, but it essentially balances the masculine and the feminine side. So it's in English, it's also called alternate nostril breathing. In Sanskrit, it's called Anulom Vilom, which is again, there are two nadis or two channels of fiery energy and more cooling energy, which is both our nostrils. And when you breathe from one nostril and then the other, you also are reminding your body to um, to balance, to let both the energies flow. This is also a beautiful practice if you are feeling tired and like lethargic, then you can do one side of the nostril, um, like one side breathing more to activate your energy flow. And if you're feeling really anxious and like like fiery, then you can do the other side to cool yourself down. But today we'll just do both. Um, and you can also feel when you close one nostril and breathe, which one is more warmer for you and which one is more cooler, because normally you will know. Not like it is said, from what I remember, I always have to do it myself. Yeah, I think left is more warm and right is cooler, but I have also heard people have different. So you can like feel into the energy. What's the temperature of the air when you breathe out? But the way this works is your right hand, if you're a right-handed or whatever your dominant hand is, you do a mudra or a how would you say mudra? It's like a shape that you do with your fingers called Vishnu mudra, in which you take your index finger and middle finger and you put it down. So you're basically left with this, your thumb and the last two fingers. So you're taking your index and the middle finger down, and you're left with ring finger, pinky finger, and thumb up. And so you use the thumb to close your nostril, and we always start with the left side. I have no idea why. It's all how I was taught, and I always do it that way. But you take your thumb, right hand thumb, and close your right nostril. And then you breathe. And let's do like a count of three. So breathe in. One, two, three. You close and then open the thumb out and then breathe out for four. One, two, three, four. And then you breathe into your right. You can close your eyes now. One, two, three. Close, open the left, breathe out. Two, three, four. Breathe in. One, two, three. Close, breathe out to your right. Two, three, four. Breathe in right. Two, three. Close, breathe out. Two, three, four. Now do your own for 2, 3 rounds. Breathe in for 3, hold, breathe out for 4. And you close the cycle the next time you breathe out to your left. Okay, so hopefully that helped ground. And it's a practice again that you can use whenever you're feeling out of balance. And we have Mathili join as well. Welcome, Mathili. Right on time to journal. And Mathili is calling in from France. So excited. Okay, so we'll jump in to the journaling. I've actually stolen these questions from slowself.co because I was like, I don't need to make something new. They were really nice. They were for the autumn equinox, but I felt like today we can use these. The way I've divided them is into 3 major themes which come up at this point. I decided that I will share all the questions in one go. So if you already want to go to the next question, you can, but take some time to harvest how the year has been. So the questions you can answer is in what ways have I grown compared to where I was last November? And what is something unexpected that has shaped me this year? You can also look after that into this idea of balance, because this is, as I said, going into Christmas, people start to feel a bit jittery with the end of the year. So just thinking about what does embracing both the light and darkness of autumn mean to me? This is definitely true for people in Finland because it's really dark now. At 4 p.m., it's pitch black. So, what does it mean to embrace this darkness, but also the light? And what do I want to start this season, and what am I ready to release? So, what I want to start with the season coming, but also what am I ready to release? And then there's just these beautiful magical questions, which I thought were beautiful, like quite, yeah, wonderful. One is, what fleeting autumn joys do I want to experience before winter arrives? So if you're in Finland, we're kind of already there, but it's only going to get colder. So what do you want to experience before true winter comes? What are these beautiful fleeting autumn joys? And what small steps can I take to make this extra magical and memorable? So, this phase that we're in, this month that we're in. In Finland, November is considered the darkest, the most depressing month. So, how do we make it more fun? Paula, that's for you and me to reflect on. Um, okay, so the way I would do this, I'm going to actually play some music. We have, let's say, till 30 minutes, 30 minutes to reflect on all of these, and then we will come back and share.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. You wait for this moment to arrive.
How is 10 more minutes for everyone, or is that we have 10 more minutes, but is that too much or is that okay?
I am personally done, but I don't know the others.
How is Diana and Maithili feeling? Because we can also, yeah, I just want to make sure people have time, but if people are done as well.
I'm done too. I'm just here at the pool with the kids and they just started playing music really loud. So I think I'm gonna have to find a different spot. But I'm
Amazing.
finished.
Yeah, okay. And Maithili? Maithili is in her writing bubble. Okay, but maybe we can um, move on. I would love to hear just either in chat or, I mean, we're such a small group that even like if you want to unmute and just share what came up, anything from the questions or any other ideas. Um, but of course, share what you're feeling comfortable to share in a group and in a recording because it will be put on the community page.
I can share. Where do you prefer people to do? Do we start one section at a time and we do a bit of a round of sharing? What do you
I would
suggest?
say just share whatever you feel like you would want to share. We don't have to go through section by section. Um, I just saw Maithili's message. Could you not hear the music? Because the music was playing.
I, I did hear it.
Okay, something you heard. Okay. The music is my biggest nemesis in these sisterhood circles. But okay, you heard something. All right. But yeah, just overall, whatever you want to share, or just like, quick run through of every section, whatever feels
Yeah, I mean,
aligned.
oh, sorry. So yeah, I wrote that compared to last November, like last November was a very like a tough phase for me. Not that I was in suffering, but I was carrying a lot of people through things. Like a lot of people in my love life, I was carrying my partner. In my family, I was carrying my mother through loss. In my team, in my work, I was carrying an entire team through sudden layoffs. So I was there and I did it like a champ, uh, but I realized that I was in that season where I was carrying a lot of people through things on top of normal responsibilities. And I think this year, where I'm, experiencing this loss myself, I am allowing myself more and more to be carried and to receive. So
Mm,
that is a bit my comparison. And I kind of I feel like I am ready to start a new phase, like a more soulful phase of my life, and I want to release the past and the patterns that do not serve me anymore. Like so I'm trying to take this period as really like a transformation, a bit painful, like every transformation, but I'm also kind of trying to excite myself for what is coming. uh,
mm.
this would be over and so on. And then I did like a small list of small joys that lighten my days in autumn because you mentioned like what can we do?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
lighting candles, the light on my terrace, hot teas, watching travel videos with my son, journaling what I'm grateful for, studying Hindi. Like went back on the saddle in view of a trip to India and seeing friends that give me good energy, painting, creating on LinkedIn, creating in general. So that was me.
Amazing. Thank you, Paula. That was beautiful. And yeah, I want to maybe hear everybody's autumn joys because that's exciting to me. But anyone else, Maithili, Dana, like, would you like to share?
Yeah. Should I go?
Yes, Maithili, go.
I didn't try. I'm very. I think this session was needed. I'm very, very tired today because I've been traveling for the past week.
Mm.
So I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm in my bed with my cat.
Go for it. Yeah, yeah. It's a good place to be.
Uh, so what ways have I grown compared? So I mean, Pukraj knows me a bit more of my personal journey, so I think she would know. But I think last year was transition because I transitioned from owning a brand to then a craft consultancy. So with that came a bit of a question mark whether this works, doesn't work. So it was a bit. Then we also moved cities. I came from the countryside to Paris, so it was a lot of like move and change and kind of all of that. Finally, now I think I feel a bit more settled, both in work but also in like the new home and um, so I think that was maybe a bit of a growth for me last year if I just look at that. Something unexpected that happened. I think through that, I had not expected. Initially, it was very tough. The flat we moved to was horrible. It was just nothing was flowing. And just to kind of be like, okay, it will happen. Just even like when you have zero clue how it's going to happen, where it's going to happen, just being, no, this is what I want to do in life. Someone has to figure it out and it's going to happen. So I think that maybe just being a bit more at ease, I would say, with not really knowing where you're going, even as hard as it may be. It's not like there are some days I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, but just sticking with it. Balance, I think I wrote also, I have my therapist and we are also kind of doing similar work where, because we tend to look at life as either all good, all bad.
Mm.
And instead of like a gratitude journal, it was more like, okay, what are the decisions in life that didn't turn out the way you want? But then what did you learn? Like seeing a bit more of the gray.
Mm.
So I feel that for me will continue. And this could be a practice that might help you also. I don't know. But she asked me to maybe like every day, at end of every day, you just write like a silliest thing. It's not work related, it's not like nothing work related, but like you said, maybe, having a nice tea, something very stupid and silly that brought you joy, and do that over a course of a year just so that your brain kind of gets
Mm.
used to it. So I think that is something that I'm trying to do more of in the coming autumn.
Mm.
What am I ready to release? What did I write? So I think this season, as a solopreneur, I think I'm just done working alone. I'm just like over it. So this season, what I'm trying to hope for is just a bit more aligned partnerships, kind of maybe doing projects that are just not entirely just me.
Mm.
So hopefully building a team, even if it's not like a permanent team, but having people to collaborate and kind of working on projects together. What I would like to release would be maybe just with like this compare, like we all get into like this is my timeline, I have to do it, la la la. So just trying to be a bit more, not doing it really very well, if I'm being honest, not like I'm letting it go completely, but I'm trying to be a bit more flexible, kind of leaving it a bit open. And then experiences, same. I think I a very similar list to Paula. I think autumn joys were teas, cats, kind of foliage. Also love that Paris is not yet cold. It's kind of like this beautiful weather. It's not cold, it's not hot.
Oh,
So
lucky,
just trying
lucky.
to, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a perfect period. So trying to enjoy all the little tiny things in the season, which, coming from Bombay is not something I experienced a lot. So just trying to be like, okay, this is a new thing in my life now. And then small steps to make it extra memorable. Lord, I can't read my own handwriting, sorry. Uh, just really bad at it. Uh, Two things I think is just kind of, I tend to get very uh competitive sometimes. Not compare, like it's a weird, it's not even like, it's not necessarily like a sporty competitiveness. Like, I've never really been competitive all my life. I just realized it. I was talking to my childhood friend that when I was a teenager, I think I was a much more zen person than I am today, which is weird
Mm.
for me because I really didn't care. Like, I'll do my own thing. Business has somehow made me that way. I feel once I started my business, then because now you're kind of responsible for your own income and like your own time and all of that. So you tend to get stuck in these, oh, I should have done this, and this is my yearly,
Mm.
this is my, I don't know. So trying to not be too much into it and trying to kind of, when I notice myself doing it, just noticing it and then kind of taking a step back. And really the big change I want to make, maybe is just really focusing a bit more on my diet
Mm.
and exercise and life things than just work things.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Maithili, for sharing. And Maithili came for the first sisterhood circle and now the last before it goes behind the paywall. But it was so nice that you came and that you got a chance to reflect. And yeah, solopreneurship struggles are, people who are entrepreneurs, only they understand it. So I get it. But you know what was interesting, Metli, before you came, Dinah said the same thing about like what resonated in what I have been posting about not feeling the rush, and there doesn't have to be that timeline. And it was interesting that it came up for you as well. So yeah, it's a common struggle. So you're not alone. Thank you for sharing. Dinah, do you want to share anything that's on your mind that came up?
Yeah, I just feel that these kind of circles are so healing because usually we feel like it's only us who are feeling this way and that are going through this stuff. And then you get together, and whenever someone shares, you're like, oh, yeah, that's me too. And you get the reflection from others, and it's so healing because then you feel like, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. I'm not the only one carrying all this weight,
Mm-hmm.
So first of all that, and then okay, so this year has been quite transformation for me. I learned to connect to myself. For many years, I've been like going through the path of self development and trying to get all the tools to just be better every day, you know? So finally this year I was able to connect to myself, and actually it comes together with this the theme of embracing both the light and darkness. So I realized that darkness is also part of the light. So it's like the yin yang.
Mm.
And we focus on the light and the beauty, because what I came to the conclusion is like everything is not just one thing or the other, is a spectrum, and it's really, you cannot know happiness unless you know sadness, and you cannot really appreciate what you have, and it's like it's common knowledge. You don't know what you have until you lose it. Yeah, you will not be able to appreciate what you have until you are able to see what it would be like if you didn't have it. So for me it was that. And ever since we came back from Ecuador to the Dominican Republic, it was in our plan, it was just sell the shop and go back to Ecuador, and it just, life has a way of messing everyone's plans. You make plans and it will show you otherwise. So whenever we came here, we came the 1st of January, and we went out to watch the first sunrise. And I was like very struck by that. And I was like, oh, that this is so beautiful, such a powerful moment. And now maybe it's the last few sunrises that I will be able to watch from here. So I'm gonna make a point to just go every morning. So basically I've been watching the sunrise almost every day throughout the year. And it's been the most healing practice that I have ever done, because it allowed me to connect, to contemplate nature, the beauty, perfection, abundance, plenitude, everything that nature has. And I was reflecting on how birds, just by watching them on the ocean, how abundance is everywhere, and they have all the fish in the sea for them, and they are perfectly made, like their aerodynamic construction, and their feathers, how they are waterproof, and how they can resist the wind, and they can spot with their eyes where the fish are, and then just deep dive into head first into the water, and they just catch the fish. But they have to do the work. So they are built in the perfect way, but it's not just for them to sit and wait for the food or the abundance to come to them. They have to do the work and it's like dive head first, like fully trust, because you have everything you need. So it was so beautiful for me to connect to nature in that way. And yeah, what else did I write? Also, what my Tilly mentioned is like, whenever you are doing entrepreneurship and you have a vision, and it's like almost nobody else has that vision or shares that vision, so you know that you have to do it. And I've been resisting building my team, because many other experiences, I've been doing this for 16 years, and throughout the years, yeah, you have a lot of stuff that happens that kind of makes you feel like, okay, if I have to go through that, maybe I'll just go alone. But at the end of the day, it's like your intuition was always there. Sometimes we just don't follow the intuition because we want to people please. I have dealt with that for the most part of my life, like people pleasing and like stay small and not speak up because not I didn't want to bother other people or just feel too loud or too much, or you know. And But actually, I realized that if we actually listen to our intuition, and that's like our guidance, and we don't have to have a reason. It's like that's how we set boundaries, and that's how we are able to actually step forward in our power. And so I'm with my Tilly, like I'm ready to expand my team and to grow into aligned partnerships. So that's one of the things that I mentioned to you,
Yeah.
aligned partnerships, because it's not just open up to anyone that wants to come in. You have to make sure that they are aligned with your values, with your view, with your goals,
Yeah.
because it's like you're you're bringing them as part of your family. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that about that.
Well, thank you for
Other
sharing. And I feel like you and Maithili should connect anyway. I will connect you guys because you both are craft sisters that need to touch base. And maybe, that's the aligned partnership. But what you said, I just wanted to, it reminded me of a saying which says that you make plans that you think you want, but life gives you what you need. So any experience that we're having, like again, what Maithili is going through with her, like, sessions with a therapist as well, they all have a meaning. Sometimes they come in hard ways, and sometimes they come in ways that it doesn't like feel nice, but there's still something there to unpack. And it's essentially life just barely, reminding you that you haven't yet figured this out. So a little harder experience. Hopefully that helps. Um, but yeah, thank you for sharing. And I just want to read out a comment Paula left on the chat, which said, very healing indeed. I struggled with anxiety all day. This is the first longer moment I'm feeling peace. I feel the good energy of this circle. So, again, a circle is not just me, it's all of us. So, thank you for sharing. Thank you for opening up. This is at least my intention moving on. I know that my introduction ends up taking too much time, but from December, there won't be any introduction. We'll get into journaling and just sharing. And again, if you have something you want to share, you can jump in. Like it's going to be an open circle, and it even is now. Ah, I mean, people already shared, but this is one of my favorite quotes that I keep putting in every sisterhood circle. But maybe this is a reminder that we all serve as a vessel to be messengers for one another. And are you sharing the messages you're inspired to speak because someone out there is waiting to hear your words? So just keep sharing your truth. I think that's like suddenly the world becomes much smaller because everyone's kind of going through the same thing. Um, I want to I wanted to do this because I want to like encourage more conversation. I would love to hear from all of you or whoever has an idea. Like, how do you self-regulate your nervous system? At least three of you or three of us are entrepreneurs. I think Paula is also thinking about starting something of her own. So this might be a great conversation to have. But even if you're in a career, leadership is hard and women carry a lot of anxiety because they think too much. So I'm just curious to hear, like, what do you guys do to self-regulate? And when I write the summary, when I share the recording, I will put all of those down. So would love to open up a little bit.
Go Maithili.
Ah, sorry. So this I used to suffer a lot from phobia, like very heavy claustrophobia. And this completely, I bought a book called Worksheet of Anxiety or something like that. I don't
Mhm.
remember it. And it helped it's almost gone. Like I can sit in a 9-hour flight without Xanax, and that's insane
Wow.
to me. And it has these breathing exercises that I think just really help. I think it's called uh, in Sanskrit, I think it's called pranayam. I don't know.
Yeah, breath work, pranayam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like pranayama, but it's like a square breathing, basically.
Like a box
So,
breathing.
yeah, like four, 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 four. And at least when you are, anxious, or if you are about to have a panic attack, which is often the case if you have some sort of a phobia,
Mm.
really was a game changer because it instantly brings your heart rate down, like really. So for a lot of time, I did that just to get over the kind of claustrophobia. And then for me, it's my cats also. I think I would be insane without them. Just a raging lunatic without my cat. But
Yeah.
spending time, even if it's in Paris, like even if it's not, I'm not necessarily in a countryside location all the time, but just going and looking at, some people might think I'm creepy, staring into their homes, but I really like it. I really like just walking around and just looking at people doing random, like they're in their kitchen or whatever, but it just makes me feel like we all have that commonality, like we're all kind of struggling with the same stuff.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know, I like people watching. And then the third, which I mean, if you do yoga or any, but nowadays I've started doing, because before I used to do yoga like as an exercise, I just do it in the morning or I do it in the evening. But now when I see like my back is tensed, or I will just do like a 10-minute thing. It doesn't have to
Mm.
be a big thing, but just like three or four poses. So really trying to move a bit more, or like a walk or whatever that is. So I think these three things have been consistent for me. Others I do more like I do it, I stop, I do it, I stop. But these three have been more consistent. And then journaling, of course,
Yeah.
just helps in general.
So nice. Yeah. I do all of them, but I haven't really been staring at people's homes, so I will add that in my list and see how that goes. But I mean, it is true. We are all doing the same things. We all come home, we have to cook. Like, it's the same life. It's just we carry different pressures. Thank you.
Okay.
Anyone else would want to share? We also did a Metli Anulom Vilom, which is like the alternate nostril breathing. I think that's when you came in. That's also a great pranayam practice to
My
just,
mom swears by it.
yeah,
She's the
it's
one who
very,
taught to do
all the
that.
grandparents and the parents love it. That's why my mom also always like, do that whenever I'm a bit stressed. So
Very well.
box breathing is basically, yeah, the same, just managing your breath. Any other recommendations? We have 5 minutes, but we can maybe go a little longer. But
I'll be quick. I also yoga. I mean, I realized that I'm very much up here in the way I process things. So I've been trying in the past
mm,
days to come back to grounding my body. I have been also very consistent with meditation, I have to say, that I would add to the list. And there
mm,
are different kinds. So
mm,
one has to find what works best for me. For me, like for example, chakra work, it's like works
mm,
a lot. It's again some meditation that keeps me in my body more easily,
yeah,
and yoga too, like the same as you, medley. Like I try to do it. I did it. I used to do it more absent-minded, I guess, in the same way you described, and now I try to be in my body. And I started also going back to the gym because a year ago I started doing weight training, and now I had to stop for only a few months because I was feeling sick and I couldn't go. But something I noticed also months ago, before I was, experiencing loss or anything, I realized that it was helping me mentally because, again, it was a specific kind of sport that if you want to do it right, you have to be very much in your
mm,
body because you have to be careful that you are not, that you are keeping the form.
mm.
So that, like, I realized over time that it was helping me mentally because
You have
it
to be in the
forced me to be
moment.
mindful compared to
Yes.
other things. So
Yeah.
I would add these things to
Yeah.
the
And the
list.
people say, right, movement is medicine. I think it's also because one, like you're moving your body. And I think for women, like we do tend to stay a lot in our heads, but then when you move, you're kind of taking away the focus. But I think, as you said, like doing something. And for me, that's why even yoga has never been about, like, can I do, like, how often do I do yoga? But it's more about like, traditional yoga is always about holding a pose because that's where your focus then goes into holding the pose and not flowing. So I often find flowy yoga harder than like more stay in the pose and like stay there. And, yeah. Diana, do you have any ideas and recommendations? I think you also
Yeah,
said about like staring at the sunrise, which I think is a great.
well, staring at the sunrise is something amazing, but I realize that not everybody lives by the ocean where the sun
I
rises. So
know. We would love to be there.
yeah, so it's a privilege. I notice that, and I really appreciate that. But
Mhm.
also when I I also go, I rely on breath work, the box, like
Mm.
you mentioned, the 4-6-8. Whenever you take
Mm.
inhale in 4, hold for 6, and then exhale for 8, which that regulates your parasympathetic system, and it kind of allows you to calm down. But also something really, really uh, that works wonders, and it relates to movement. And this I'm a conservation biologist, so I'm always looking at nature and biology and all this. And I just feel like nature holds all the keys if we only look at it, right? So whenever an animal is chased by a predator and it escapes, when it goes into by itself to a safe place, it starts shaking. And shaking allows all
Mm.
that pressure to just, and all that energy, all that adrenaline to just get out of the body. So whenever I feel like anxiety in my stomach, and like, whenever it's just like heavy breathing, I start shaking, and like at least 2 minutes of shaking, if you can do more and more. But
Mm.
like shaking all your body like crazy person, shaking my head and my hands and everything, just shake, 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 shake. And it really, really helps. And also dancing. I love music. And whenever I'm feeling like anxious or down, I just play my favorite song, or any kind of song really, because I just love music altogether, and just allow my body to dance to the rhythm, and that helps wonders.
Yes, yeah. I just made a playlist which is like 90s music from India, and I was like, I know these songs. They like it makes me groove. But when you were saying about the shaking, I also just remembered like when I gave birth, like once the birth was over, because your body is like, and so much is going on. Like I was shaking for a long time, and I guess it was something similar, maybe that your body was bringing you back to earth after the crazy experience of giving birth. Maybe.
I would also add singing, because for
Yeah.
at least
I
for
mean,
me,
Methli's mom is a gorgeous singer. Methli is also singing.
my mom more than me, but I think it's just like it's a release in a way. Like, so
Mm,
even if you're random shit, sometimes I make up songs for my cats. They don't mean anything, but it's just really it helps. Like it's
yeah.
opening the voice somehow just is a bit soothing.
Yeah. So basically, it's a lot of like energy, vibration, and getting it out. Like, I think all the self-regulation practice kind of fall in that bucket. Yeah. But maybe that's something for us to remember as we go away from this circle. But thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. I will close very quickly. Let me just share my slides. I do want to we invite everybody because the Substack community has been a free community for everybody. But it does take time and energy and love to facilitate and to write and all of that. I've decided that from December onwards, it would be a paid community. So, of course, there will be still free writing that I will publish once a month, maybe, or twice a month. But then I want to host more intimately women who are ready to kind of come together and share. And I think just today is like a mini version of that. Like we will see how it will expand, but I'm very excited for it because I think the community has so much wisdom already. Like, I don't need to tell you what to do. Like, everybody already knows. But just being in circle with other women who are reimagining how they lead and how they grow their businesses or how they share their gifts um, is something that I want to offer to the world. So if this is something that you want to join, you can just basically subscribe to the newsletter, and that's how we will begin. The other thing that I want to also invite is this pilot that I'm trying to find women for. But again, I'm being very picky because I want to make sure that the women who I invite into the program are ready to do the work. So it's a 12-week regenerative leadership experience. It's specifically for women in social impact because that's my experience and expertise, but who want to lead with more clarity, calm, and connection. And in this program, we reconnect with your deeper why, cultivate partnerships that feel aligned. Today, many times aligned partnerships came up, and design rhythms that grow your impact without depleting your energy. That's the goal. It will start on 1st January. So if this is something that you're curious about, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram and we can schedule a call and then we can see if this is the right program for you or not. But I wanted to share these two invites, one to the community and the other one to the pilot program, if it speaks to you. Oh, yeah. And normally I say this at the end of every sisterhood circle, that if you enjoyed the session, the journaling session, then finding a way to gift back to somebody else who might be needing love and support and space. My personal recommendation is the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, but of course you can donate it to the cause that speaks most dearly to you. And today, because tomorrow is a full moon circle, I wanted to end with a mini meditation. So what I would invite all of us to do, let's see if the music plays and you can hear it a little bit maybe. But I want everyone to close their eyes and we'll close with a mini meditation and then we'll take from there. I have written it down, so I'm going to read it just so that it is what I want to say. Okay. Right when you... All right. So everyone find a comfortable seat. If you want to lie down, you can lie down, close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Let the body soften, the mind quiet, and the heart open. The full moon is rising tomorrow. Her light is already building in the sky. Take a moment to honor how far you have come this year. Each choice, each challenge, each moment of courage has shaped you for who you are today. Whisper softly to yourself, thank you. Thank you for my growth, my strength, and my becoming. Thank you. Now breathe in the energy of the moon. Imagine her silver light wrapping gently around you. Let her remind you that you don't have to rush or force. The universe is working with you always. Repeat silently. I trust the timing of my life. I trust the timing of my life. I trust the unfolding of my path. I trust the unfolding of my path. Place a hand on your heart. Feel your truth beneath your palm. Steady, alive, and ready to be seen. This full moon calls you to show up as your most authentic self. Unapologetic, radiant, whole. Take one last deep breath in. Fill your body with gratitude and trust. And as you exhale, imagine releasing all that no longer serves you into the light of the moon. When you're ready, whisper, I am grateful. I am grateful. I am guided. I am guided. I am free to be me. I'm free to be me. Begin to bring your awareness back to your body. Notice the weight of your body resting on the ground or the seat beneath you, the steadiness of the earth holding you. Take a slow, deep breath in and exhale fully, letting your body feel lighter, softer, and more at ease. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes, roll your shoulders. Take a moment to smile to yourself, to the moon, to this new chapter that's unfolding. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes, carrying with you the calm and the gratitude that you've cultivated today. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you, everyone, for spending a little longer. I hope full moon tomorrow brings you more messages, more, good energy, good vibes. And yeah, I hope to see you in the community one way or the other. But it was really nice to spend time with you all today. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
Bye.
you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much. This was beautiful. It's beautiful getting to know you and
Thank
just sending so much love.
Thank
Same,
you,
Thank
guys.
same
Thank
to you.
you.
All
Bye.
right. See
Bye.
ya. Bye.